are really buying a museum piece, Monsieur Chandler.
I'm afraid I'm not interested in museums. This stone's going to America, to anyone who can pay the price.
But with a history as famous as that of the Omar diamond, it should not be difficult to find a buyer.
I have a certified check here for $300,000.
Eh bien, then we can conclude our deal now.
Not exactly. I've had a little trouble securing insurance.
Trouble? A dealer as well known as you, Mr. Chandler.
Well, the insurance companies have suffered such heavy losses of late that they refuse to insure a stone of this value until it is delivered on the boat.
That can easily be arranged.
I'm sailing on the Bordeaux tomorrow evening. You can deliver it to me on A deck, stateroom 224. Or better still, deliver it to me at the purser's office at 11 o'clock. Then I can transfer it right to the safe.
Very well. I shall be there promptly at 11.
May I suggest that we seal the diamond in the package now?
Yes, of course.
Then I won't have to inspect it again when it's delivered. It's perfect a stone as I've ever seen.
Oui, monsieur.
Do you mind if we use my signet ring for identification?
Not at all. Is that all right?
Yes, this will do. We'll conclude the deal when you deliver this package to me on the boat. I'll turn the check over to you.
Thank you, Monsieur Chandler. Again, it has been a great pleasure to business with you.
Thank you. Goodbye, Monsieur Monet.
Bon voyage, Monsieur Chandler.
No llores, porque cantando se alegran cielito lindo los Good morning, Boris.
Good morning, sir.
Well, what have we for breakfast?
Strawberries with cream, cereal, scrambled eggs, buttered rolls, and coffee.
Right. Well, I see the Omar diamond's going to America.
Omar diamond, sir?
The famous Omar diamond, reported to be valued at 10 million francs, has been purchased by Walter Chandler, the American jeweler. Mr. Chandler is sailing on the SS Bordeaux for the United States tomorrow night. The history of this famous gem dates back to the reign
I know the history of the Omar diamond, sir. It belonged to the Russian Tsar Nikolai when I was a captain of the Royal Guard. Many times I had an opportunity of seeing the imperial jewels.
Well, that's interesting.
Then came the black days of the revolution. I remember like it was tomorrow. Blindfolded, I was led before the firing squad. They raised the rifles and...
You can tell me the rest later. Hello? Oh, hello, Val. I was just thinking about you. What are you doing?
Trying to soothe my aching muscles. I've been packing all morning.
Packing?
Yes? And Cynthia decided all of a sudden to sail for home tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? Well, she can't do that to us.
Well, she's already made reservations down there. Ouch! You're killing me!
Oh, pardon, mademoiselle.
Valerie, what's happened?
Oh, it's all right. I'm just being slapped into shape by the masseurs. She doesn't understand English. Do you, you old hatchet face?
Oh, merci. Merci, mademoiselle.
Well, how about you and your aunt having a pair with me tonight?
Hold the line a moment, and I'll see. Oh, and Cynthia, Victor's asked us to have dinner with him tonight.
Emphatically, no.
And Cynthia says she'd love to. All right, we'll be ready.
Now, listen here, Valerie, about this adventure.
I know just what you're going to say. What do I about it? Frankly, nothing. He's been very sweet and attentive. He's a good dancer. I can't see any harm in having dinner with him, whoever he is.
Well, I don't trust strangers, especially him.
Well, you won't have to worry about him after tonight. This is a farewell dinner.
Farewell dinner. He's given us a farewell dinner in every city that we've visited. He's always popping up everywhere we go.
Well, he certainly won't pop up in New York.
Millionaire rancher from the Argentine. I bet he hasn't got a red cent.
Gee, maybe he prints his own money. Ouch!
Oh, pardon, mademoiselle.
You old sourpuss.
Oh, merci, mademoiselle.
Do you really have to go back so soon?
I'm afraid so. Some old oil leases to sign or something.
Well, if your aunt manages your affairs for you, why can't she go back and sign them?
I've got a picture of Aunt Cynthia going back to Oklahoma without me.
Well, look who's here. Hello, Tony.
Oh, hello, Miss Prentice. She's an old friend of mine.
Didn't she call Tony?
Why, yes, that's my middle name. Said the floor's getting rather crowded, isn't it?
She's very wealthy.
Who? Oh, Mrs. Prentice, yes. Well, she would be if she wasn't always loaded down with too much jewelry. Do you know, pendant?
I think it's exquisite.
Well, I guess that settles it then. It's exquisite.
Boo. And Cynthia, here's where we get off.
Snatching 40 winks, eh?
I guess I was. I think it's time we left.
Oh, but Mrs. Barton, the night's young.
But I'm not. And besides, we've a lot to do tomorrow.
Garçon.
Oui, monsieur.
Check, please.
Well, Victor, this is it. Thanks for everything.
Goodbye, Mr. Morell. Thank you. It's been very nice meeting you.
Good night, Mrs. Barton.
Good night.
You know, it's hard to realize I've only known you for 3 weeks.
And in another 3 weeks, you will have forgotten that I ever existed.
Oh, you don't really believe that, do you?
Valerie?
Goodbye, Victor.
Goodbye, Valerie.
Going up, sir?
Oh, no, back down to the cafe.
Yes, sir.
Room steward! Room steward! Room... Sun service. I've got the highest price suite on this tub. I can't even get into it. Now, I'm asking you, what kind of a ship is this?
A steamship.
Room steward! Room steward! Room steward! Room steward!
Good evening, Monsieur Chandler.
Good evening. I'm glad to see you. I was beginning to get a little uneasy. Did you bring the package?
It has been with me constantly. That must be the mug that brought that chunk of ice.
Mug. Ice. Will you please remember you're not a gangster anymore? You're a retired philanthropist.
The seals haven't been tampered with? I'll give you the check now.
Mr. Chandler, don't you think we'd better make sure that the stone is in the package?
But I am sure.
But we sealed it in my office.
Well, as long as our company is insuring the stone for Mr. Chandler, I'm afraid we must make certain it's in the package.
This is the Omar diamond, all right. Purser, please get me a safety deposit box.
Oui, monsieur.
Here you are, Monet. The certified check.
Thank you, Monsieur Chandler. I hope I have the pleasure to do business with you again next year.
Goodbye, Monsieur Monet.
Bon voyage.
Merci.
Here is your safe deposit box, Monsieur Chandler.
Everything satisfactory?
Quite all right. Pleasant voyage.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, Mr. Chandler.
Goodbye, sir.
All visitors ashore! All visitors ashore! Now, what are you mooning about?
Oh,
Nothing.
Well, I wouldn't need more than one guess to know what you're thinking. And if you ask me, he isn't worth it.
Look, Cynthia, that's all over.
Thank goodness.
Still, it's strange he didn't even send flowers.
By now, he's probably found some other gullible girl to annoy.
He wasn't annoying.
He was to me. Yes?
Ship's news.
Slip it under the door. Oh,
What's the matter now?
the Red Sox lost again. I can play better ball than they can.
You look cute in a baseball suit.
Oh. Well, seems we missed some excitement.
Excitement?
Yes. There was a jewel robbery where we dined last night. Somebody stole a diamond pendant from Mrs. Prentice. Why, that must have happened just after we left.
Let me see that paper.
Come in.
Bonjour, madame. A package from Miss Valerie Barton.
Thank you. An exquisite gem belongs around an exquisite throat. Victor.
What do you intend to do with it?
Return it. The moment we arrive in New York.
That's the only thing to do.
Bonjour, madame.
Mrs. Barton's table.
Ah, oui, madame. Table 120. Right this way, please. Is that?
Remove this, please. There'll only be the two of us.
Has the gentleman changed his mind, madame?
What gentleman?
Why, your nephew, madame. This is the table he selected.
Oh, there must be some mistake.
Yes, there was a mistake. The second steward assigned us a table in the corner, but I know how you hate corners, Aunt Cynthia. Thank you. Well, I'm hungry enough to eat smoked alligator. How about you?
What are you doing here?
Waiting for you. I've been up since 6 o'clock.
That was very thoughtful of you.
I almost missed the boat.
Too bad you didn't. I suppose you might as well order.
It's a wonder your nephew hasn't taken care of that, too.
Ah, but I have, see? Alphonse, what else should I order?
One Chèvre Marcel,
You like that in Monte Carlo.
one fromage soufflé,
You like that in Biarritz.
and one ham and egg.
I like that any place. See what a memory I have?
Don't you think you owe us an explanation?
Oh, there's nothing to explain. After you left, Paris became so dull, I decided to join you.
That isn't what I mean. I mean that little trinket we both thought so exquisite.
I hope you still like it.
Thanks, but I'm returning it to you.
But why?
I think you know why.
I suppose a gift like that is a mere trifle to a South American rancher.
Well, that depends.
On what?
Oh,
Good day, Captain.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Chandler? Glad to see you with us again.
A few more trips and I'll own the ship.
Oh, there's a friend of mine I want to see. Excuse me a moment. I'll be right back.
Don't hurry.
Excuse me, Captain. Hello, Mr. Chandler. I didn't know you were making this trip.
Why,
I don't suppose you remember me. Victor Morell. I met you up at Monet's about 2 years ago.
oh, yes. How do you do?
Pleasure trip or business this time?
Oh, I usually manage to combine both.
Say, who's that monkey?
Don't stare. It ain't polite.
You say? That's another $100 you owe me.
Does that look like a soft-boiled egg to you?
It's 3 minutes, sir.
By whose watch?
The cook used a machine, sir.
Well, have him throw the machine away and use a watch. That's a 6-minute egg if I ever saw one.
Yes, sir. I bring another.
These waiters are all the same, trying to put something over on you. I know. I've done a lot of traveling.
Well, an egg's an egg, no matter where you meet it.
Well, I guess getting back to my table. Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Going to be on deck after lunch?
Oh, yes, I suppose so.
Well, I'll see you then. Goodbye.
Old pals, huh?
Yeah, and I'm Jesse James.
Come in.
Thank you.
I suppose you know why I sent for you.
Now, let me think.
I wanted to return this while Aunt Cynthia's out.
Doesn't she like it?
Why did you do it, Victor?
In my country, a lady's slightest wish becomes a command.
It's very gallant, but I'm not in the habit of wearing stolen jewelry.
You might be jumping at conclusions.
I don't think I am. And I know why you're on this boat. I'm not the attraction. It's Mr. Chandler's diamond you're after.
You've been reading detective stories. Look, Valerie, I'm very much afraid...
Let's not discuss it any further. And just forget that I'm on this boat.
That's going to be a little difficult. But I'll try.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This bother you?
Oh, not at all. I prefer a pipe. Not for myself, of course.
May I offer you a cigarette, then?
No, thank you. I'm Mrs. Barton.
How do you do? I'm Walter Chandler.
Chandler? Chandler? Why, it seems to me I've read something about you somewhere.
Oh, there's been quite a lot of publicity about a diamond I'm bringing to America.
A diamond? Why, of course, I remember now. The Omar diamond. How interesting. Oh, Valerie. I wondered what had been keeping you. Mr. Chandler, this is my niece, Valerie Barton.
How do you do? Oh, please don't get up.
How do you do?
Mr. Chandler is the owner of the Omar diamond, Valerie.
Oh, yes, we read about that. Aren't you nervous about bringing back such a valuable stone?
Oh, I've been doing this for years. You'll get used to it.
Aren't you afraid of it being stolen?
Oh, it's insured, of course. Still, I'd hate to lose it.
Mr. Chandler, there's something I want to say to you about that. I haven't much to go on, but I think there's going to be an attempt made to steal that diamond. Now, all I know is I've seen some very suspicious characters.
Well, this looks like a happy little gathering. Oh?
You know these ladies?
Oh, yes, we're old friends.
Miss Barton was about to tell me of someone who has designs on my diamond.
I was going to warn you about that, too. You can't be too careful when you're traveling. Is there anyone you suspect?
I was just telling Mr. Chandler there's some very suspicious people on this boat.
I don't think there's any cause for worry. It's perfectly safe where it is.
Purser's offices have been robbed before, Mr. Chandler.
I took that into consideration, too.
You surely don't carry it with you, do you?
I'm not at liberty to discuss it, if you don't mind.
You're being very wise, Mr. Chandler.
I have to be.
I'll bet the women would like to see that stone, wouldn't you, ladies?
I wouldn't think of having Mr. Chandler take a risk to satisfy our curiosity.
Well, you're one woman who's different.
I beg your pardon, monsieur, but you're not allowed to do that.
Why? I'm just taking a few slugs at some of them leaping tunas out there. Look, there's another one.
But, Mr. Davis, if it's target practice you want, there is a skeet trap on the upper deck.
Skeet? You don't say. Okay, Sergeant. I'll give him a whirl later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh. I thought for a minute we were in the war zone.
You know who that is, don't you?
No, I don't think I do.
That's Louis Davis, the racketeer.
Oh, I see. Getting in a little practice.
No, he retired when repeal came in. Now he's taking a trip around the world to acquire a little polish.
For an Argentine rancher, you know a good deal about Americans.
We used to ship cattle to your country. They have stockyards there, you know.
Louis, what have you been up to?
Nothing. I was just taking a couple of cracks at some of them fishes I seen out there.
If you want fish, get a fishing pole.
Say, Flo, what's a skeet?
Skeet? Oh, that's a nickname for mosquitoes down south.
You know, they got some trapped in the upper deck.
Is that so? Now, Louis, I've decided to give a cocktail party.
But we don't know nobody.
When you're in polite society, you grab the bull by the tail. That's how you get to meet people. Let's start with them folks over there. Come on.
Yeah, but we ain't been knocked down to them.
Oh, come on. Leave things to me.
So you're in the cattle business?
Yes,
Would you mind if I intruded myself for just a moment?
Why, not at all.
Well, stay right where you are.
I'm Mrs. Davis, and this is my husband, J. Lewis.
Hi.
My husband and I were just saying, here we are, all living together. Oh, well, so to speak, and almost complete strangers. And I said to him, Louis, I think it would be a charming gesture if we had a little cocktail party in our suit. We have a large suit, you know.
Yeah, it's a terrific joint.
So if you don't think that I'm just too plebeian, I should like to ask you all to come.
We're only asking the folks in the first class.
I think it's a great idea. What about it?
Well,
I think we should all go. We'll have a good time.
So you'll all be there. Suit fee at 5 o'clock?
We'll be there.
Thank you very much.
Well, you'll excuse me now. I'll go and round up some more.
Thanks, folks. You made the missus mighty happy.
We simply adored Budapest. But then we had to scamper over to Carlsbad to take the cure.
Oh, were you ill?
No, nothing was wrong, but everybody takes the cure, so we took it.
And in Italy, we was there 2 weeks. They got a leaning tower that bends over like this. It's gonna fall on somebody someday and hurt him. Oh, you can laugh, but I wasn't plastered.
Plastered?
I seen it myself. Oh, thanks, Doc.
Do you know, we've heard so much about the Omar diamond. Do you suppose I could persuade you to show it to us? Oh, just this little group, I mean.
I'd like to, but I'm afraid I can't. You see, my insurance agreement prohibits my removing it from where it is before we reach New York.
I'm sure you wouldn't be taking a chance with any of us.
Oh, I'm sure of that, but I can't break the contract, you understand.
Oh, that's too bad.
It'll probably be on display in New York at our Fifth Avenue establishment sometime this month.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, Val. I want to talk to you.
Don't you think we've said everything there is to say?
You have, but I haven't. Do you think you're being fair, condemning me on circumstantial evidence?
Look, Victor, let's not make a courtroom.
To believe I'm following you to America and nothing else.
Even if that were so, it still doesn't excuse your taking that pendant.
Our history's full of men who dared for a woman's favor.
Yes, and so are jails.
Excuse me, folks, but my name is Stevens, Julien Stevens. I just wanted to tell you, little lady, that I've been watching you ever since you got on this ship.
Watching me?
Yeah, and I want to tell you I think you're the smartest dresser on this tub. I should know I manufacture ladies' dresses. Take this little number you're wearing now. I'll bet you paid $250 for that. I'm getting out the same thing to sell for $17.95.
I'm sorry I didn't wait. I could have saved some money.
I'll say you can save money. Here's my card. Drop in on me sometime. You can have anything you want wholesale.
Thank you.
Haven't I seen you somewhere before?
Possibly. I've been quite a few places.
Weren't you stopping at the Hotel Vion in Paris last week?
That's right.
I knew it. I never forget a face. Say, for a high-class hotel, I thought the service was rotten.
Will you pardon me?
Say, this is the deadest party I ever went to. How about sneaking away and having a little game of it?
Well, I'm afraid...
Nobody will miss us. Maybe we can find a couple of regular guys and have a sociable game. How about it? Let's go down to my cabin.
Look, old man, you go ahead if you want to. I think I'll stay here.
This is a swell ship. No poker players. Say, by the way, what line are you in?
Cattle.
That's a great racket. We're both lucky. People will always eat meat, and they got a dress. Do you know how much business we did last year in print dresses alone? Over 200,000. And boy, that's plenty of dresses in anybody's language.
Oh, wait a minute. Bring me a scotch and soda.
Make mine a beer.
Double scotch.
2 beers.
Oui, monsieur.
What's that?
The fire signal.
Don't get excited, folks. Take your time.
Everybody to their stations. Night patrol on deck.
Well, let her have it. That ain't polite.
Let her have it.
Wait a minute. What he's gonna do?
Just a minute, folks. Just a minute. It's all over. It's no danger. It was a false alarm.
Can you imagine frightening people like that?
Play on us.
Well, you look calm enough. Do you know there's been a fire alarm?
Yes. In fact, I'm the one who turned it in.
You turned it in. Have you gone mad?
If I have, the method in my madness.
What are you talking about?
Well, I thought that would be a good way of finding out where Mr. Chandler keeps the diamond.
Why, in the purser's office, of course.
That he wants us to think.
What do you mean?
Well, Chandler made it a little too obvious when he checked it with the purser. And then on the deck, when he made that remark to Victor about it being safe where it was, I decided to play a hunch. I turned in the alarm and watched him. Instead of going to the purser's office, he made a beeline for his stateroom. The Omar diamond is in there someplace.
Well, I'll have to admit that was pretty smart.
Don't admit it if it's too much for you, Auntie dear.
Then it should be very simple for you to get it from that room into this one.
It may not be as simple as that. We're not the only ones on this ship with that idea.
Well, if it's Victor, it'll be easier for you to eliminate him.
It hasn't been easy so far.
Now, I'll tell you exactly how to handle him. You go to his stateroom.
Who is it?
Radiogram.
This must be a new way of delivering radiograms.
Search him.
Nothing on him.
Where is it?
Where is what?
You know what I'm talking about. The Omar diamond.
Well, you gentlemen have me mixed up with a man named Chandler.
No, we haven't. What were you doing around the purser's office when that fire alarm went off?
Reserving a lifeboat. Now, is it all right if I take my hands down?
Sure, put them down and hand over that diamond.
You boys mind telling me what this is all about?
It was a very clever trick, turning in that fire alarm to grab that diamond.
Relax, Morell. We know you're after it. That happened to be the reason we're on this boat, too.
Well, if you know that much, then you should know that I didn't get it.
Mind if we take a look around?
You'll be wasting your time. It isn't here. Yet. I figured on waiting until tonight during the mass ball.
Look, Morell, we know you stand in good with Chandler. We're going to step back and let you go ahead. We might get in each other's way.
Now you're being smart.
That's how we figure. We don't want to hog it all, so we're declaring ourselves silent partners with you.
Thanks. But I've always worked alone.
It'll do you good.
Supposing I don't like your proposition.
It's a bad time to ask questions.
Because I've got the answer right here in my pocket.
Look, if you grab that diamond and double-cross us, there'll be one passenger missing when we get back to New York.
You better make up your mind, quick.
I've been waiting and waiting for you. Why didn't you come back to the party?
I, got tied up with these friends of mine.
Well. When did you boys get on?
Look, lady, we're talking a little business here. You better come back later.
You go right ahead and talk. Don't mind me.
Get her out of here.
You'd better go to your stateroom, Val. I'll see you later.
I don't want to go to my stateroom. Oh, Victor doesn't like me anymore.
Oh, yes, he does. Come on now, you run along.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Nobody likes me anymore. Nobody cares if I live or die.
Come on. We'll see you later, Morell.
Thanks, Val.
I knew it when you turned in that false fire alarm.
Did I?
Deny it, Victor. And that's what I came to see you about. Please give up this idea, Victor, please.
Aren't you suddenly concerned about me?
It isn't sudden at all. It's just that I wouldn't admit it before.
I don't understand you.
When I first found out what you were, I thought I could dismiss you from my mind. But I can't, Victor. That's what I came here to tell you. But I can see now it was a mistake to think I could ever get you to be anything different.
You mean if I were, I'd have a chance?
Don't go through with it. I'm afraid. You don't have to, Victor. We could go away any place. I have more than enough to take care of both of us for the rest of our lives. Don't do it, Victor. You won't.
All right, Valerie. Just as you say.
I never dreamed I could be so happy.
Do you really mean that?
You know that I do. If I stay here another moment, I'll start to cry.
Well, I wouldn't mind.
But I would. I look perfectly awful. See you at the ball tonight.
Except for that cowboy out there with the spurs on, which aren't doing my shins any good.
And I could do nicely without that crusader sword jabbing me in the ribs.
You're lucky no one came dressed as a porcupine.
Strange how many people will turn up for a masked ball.
I suppose it satisfies a human desire people have for masquerading as something they're not.
It's a natural instinct. You see it in children. Now, I remember when I was a boy, I used to have...
Oh, my bag, it's gone.
Did you bring it with you?
Why, I'm almost positive. I had my rings in it.
Are you sure you took it out of the door in the trunk?
Well, Oh, of course, that's where it is. I remember putting it there last night.
I'll get it for you.
You know where the key is?
Yes, I'll be right back.
I'll go with you.
No need to. And remember, this is the dance you have with Aunt Cynthia.
Why, I thought this next dance was mine.
Now, don't tell me I have this dance with two men. Why, I haven't been so popular in 20 years.
Well, this is a crisis. I'll tell you what we'll do. Mr. Chandler can have the first half of the dance, and I'll cut in.
I know I'm being cheated, but there's nothing I can do.
You shouldn't excuse your dancing. You dance like a college boy.
I presume you mean that as a compliment. I beg your pardon.
Oh, is that you, Mr. Chandler?
Yes. This is us. You know who I'm supposed to be?
Well, you look like a railroad brakeman in his nightgown.
Yeah, no, I ain't. I'm that great detective that was looking for an honest man. What's his name, Flo?
Socrates.
Yeah.
I was coming as Lady Godiva, but the captain suggested I wear leopard skin instead. Now I'm Tarzan's maid. La, 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 la.
How do you like the outfit?
It's very effective, especially the spurs.
Oh, but you South Americans are the ones who wear the colorful outfits. I seen you gauchos handle cattle down your country.
That's very interesting.
Sure, I've been all through South America. Where's your ranch located down there?
Why, just south of Gran Chaco.
Gran Chaco. Ha! Viva la Gran Chaco. I remember one after...
Pardon me, I have this dance with Mrs. Barton.
Yeah. Oh. Hey! Here, listen.
Here's that man again.
Oh, and I was just beginning to get my feet organized.
Nah, don't complain. There isn't half a minute left to dance anyway.
Now, none of your fancy steps.
Just a minute, young lady. So, it's you, Miss Barton. Oh, I see what your little game is. All right, I'll relieve you of my diamond. Oh, no, you don't. I'll turn you over to the ship's office, huh?
Don't touch that phone.
So, you two are in this together. And if you think you're going to get away with it, you're mistaken.
You fool, you've killed him.
Shut up. Come on, let's get out of here.
Why did you do it, Victor? You didn't have to.
I'm the best judge of that. So you didn't want any part of me because I was a thief. You had me fooled for a while.
What else could I do?
And you thought you'd grab the diamond yourself and leave me holding the bag.
That's right, Victor. But I'm through with all that. Whatever I've done, I've never been mixed up with murder before.
Well, you're mixed up with it now and in it as deep as I am.
No. No!
Now, don't be a little fool. We have the diamond. We might as well make the best of it.
But when they find out about Chandler?
You leave that to me.
I'm afraid. I don't know what to do.
Now, pull yourself together. Change your clothes and go on back to the dance. I'll join you later.
And Cynthia.
Oh, there you are. I was just starting to look for you. I couldn't hold Chandler any longer. Did anything go wrong?
Yes, something terrible has happened.
What?
Come over to the rail and I'll tell you.
Come in, boys. I was expecting you.
Well, did you get it?
No.
What are you waiting for?
Gentlemen, I've changed my mind.
If you're figuring on playing it alone, you'd better change your mind again.
On the contrary, I'm going to step back and let you boys go ahead. I've decided not to get mixed up in this.
Just what are you trying to pull?
It's all very simple. I've just become engaged to the little lady you met in here. And inasmuch as she's worth a couple of million, I think it would be pretty stupid to go through with this now.
Oh, I see. After bigger game.
Without any risk.
This wouldn't be a double cross by any chance, would it?
You can easily find out. Chandler's not in his stateroom, and the diamond is.
What do you mean? The diamond's with a purser. We saw him check it when he came aboard.
That's why I turned in the fire alarm. I wanted to make sure. Chandler didn't go anywhere near the purser's office. He practically broke his neck getting to his stateroom. Well, I'm sorry we couldn't get together on this deal.
If it's there, we'll find it. If it isn't, we know where to find you.
Good luck, gentlemen. Professor, I think there's some trouble in Mr. Chandler's stateroom. I heard a man yell for help and then a shot.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes.
What is the matter? Something has happened in Mr. Chandler's stateroom. We better go and have a look.
You better take your revolvers. It might be serious.
Entendu, monsieur.
Hey.
It's Chandler.
What's going on in here?
Why, we just got in here by mistake.
Take this man to the brig. I'll get the captain.
Wait a minute. You got us wrong.
No, I'm afraid I've got you right. Take him along.
Come on.
Everything is certainly up now.
But what could I have done?
Where's the diamond?
He has it.
Well, we've got to get it back.
No, I'm through. Up to now, I've been afraid to quit, but this time it's murder, and I'm not going on with it.
May Gardner tried to get out of this racket. Have you forgotten what happened to her?
No, I haven't forgotten.
Now, look, dear. We're in a spot. Neither of us can quit. The boys have invested too much money to ever let us come back without that diamond.
But if they get Victor, they'll get me.
If he's as smart as I think he is, you've nothing to worry about, except to get that diamond away from him.
But what were you men doing in the stateroom?
I told you we made a mistake and got in the wrong room.
And I suppose that's why you locked the door behind you.
Oh, we got in there by mistake.
All right, Duval. There's nothing we can do but hold them for the New York authorities.
Yes, sir.
Oh, there's one more thing. In the interest of the company and the passengers, we'll keep this thing quiet.
Yes, sir, I understand. Oh, let's go.
I don't know what you're worrying about. Victor told you those two men had been arrested and nobody else was suspected.
Still, that doesn't settle it.
It certainly doesn't. You never should have let Victor keep that diamond.
But I had no choice.
Hello, Aunt Cynthia.
Come in, Victor. Come in.
You didn't come down to lunch, and so I thought one of you might be ill.
How thoughtful.
Hello, Val.
Sit down, Victor. Sit down. We're just finishing packing.
Oh, thank you. Well, I guess you'll be glad to get back to Oklahoma. Those oil wells pumping will be music to your ears.
Yes, indeed, Victor. Isn't that the way you feel about getting back to South America and hear the rustling of all those cattle?
Yes, that's right.
When you two get through with your little cat and mouse game, perhaps we can discuss the Omar diamond.
What is there to discuss?
We've an interest in it, you know.
I thought you didn't want any part of it.
Why, Victor, how could you have thought that after all the expense and trouble we've been to?
We have a right to a share of it.
A share of it, yes. Provided we can dispose of it.
We're well equipped to handle that in New York. We've other connections.
And they're not a bad contact for you to make.
It's a deal.
Then hadn't we better decide how we're going to get it off the boat?
I'll get it off all right. Don't worry about that.
They'll make a thorough search. There's been a murder committed, you know.
Well, I think a woman should take it off.
That's right. It'll be safer.
I'm sure Val could get it through somehow.
I quite agree with you, but how?
Oh, those darn mules. I'll break my neck yet.
And did you hurt yourself?
No, I'm all right.
No, you're not all right. You're hurt.
What are you talking about?
You'll know in just a minute. Hello? Connect me with the ship's doctor. Mrs. Barton fell in the corridor, Doctor, and I'm afraid she has a pretty bad sprain.
Well, we'll have a look at it. How did it happen, Mrs. Barton?
She was coming down the stairs and slipped and turned her ankle.
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh.
Does it hurt there?
It's very painful, Doctor.
Well, it isn't swollen yet. That's a good sign. It doesn't feel like there are any bones broken. I think we've better wrap it up. Did she walk on it at all?
Well, fortunately, I was coming down the corridor just after it happened, and I helped her in here.
Can I get you something, Aunt Cynthia?
Yes, dear, a little brandy, please. Ooh. Ooh, now, Doctor, not too tight, not too tight. Oh. Thank you, dear.
Sir, that will be quite all right. You would better have it x-rayed when you get ashore. In the meantime, you have to keep off of it.
But we're landing in a few hours. How are we going to get off the boat?
I'll arrange to carry it off.
We'd appreciate that so much.
If there's anything I can do for you, Mrs. Barton, don't hesitate to call on me.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Morell. You've been more than kind.
Now, little lady, that may swell, but you just stay off of it, and it will be all right.
Thank you, Doctor.
Well, Doctor, thanks again for your trouble.
It's quite all right.
Oh, nice going, Auntie.
I was beginning to imagine my foot really pained me.
That's what I call realism.
We're from headquarters.
Right this way.
Well, hello. Just wanted to say goodbye.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Stevens.
When I get down in your country again, I'll look you up. By the way, where did you say your ranch was?
Why, Grand Chaco.
Oh, Grand Chaco, that's it. Well, lots of luck.
Thank you.
You never know when you're going to need it.
Mr. Bronson.
Hello, Doctor.
This is Mrs. Barton. She's had a little accident. Injured her foot.
Oh, that's too bad. Is there anything I can do?
We wondered if we could take her straight through. I could come back later and declare my baggage.
Well, I think so. Roy.
Yes?
See that these ladies get through the gate.
Certainly.
Thank you so much.
No, not at all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you again, Doctor. You'll never know how much we appreciate what you've done for us.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Is there any chance of getting my baggage inspected now?
What is the name, please?
Morell.
Victor Morell?
That's right.
You're wanted in the customs office. It's right over there.
Thank you. How are you, gentlemen?
Hello, Tony.
I'm glad to see you, Mr. Roberts.
Tony, I don't believe you know our port collector, Mr. Houston.
How do you do?
I've been anxious to meet you. Of course, you know Captain Maynard.
Oh, yes, indeed. Captain Maynard's been a great help.
I'm only sorry I didn't have more to do in this little game.
Well, if everybody hadn't been willing to cooperate, we wouldn't have gotten very far.
As the head of the Jewelers Protective Association, I want to thank you, Captain Maynard.
I sincerely hope you get the men you're after.
We will.
Well, we better not fail now. We've been after this ring of jewel thieves for over 3 years.
Sounds exciting to me. What do you plan on doing next?
Well, from here on, it should be very simple. I hope.
Come in.
Is it all right for a ghost to come in?
Well, Mr. Chandler, you look pretty good for a man who's been dead for 2 days.
Oh, it wasn't bad, but it certainly was lonesome locked up in that cabin.
I don't see how you ever managed a trap as elaborate as this.
Oh, a lot of things worked out by themselves. Although we did plan from the beginning to have Mrs. Prentice loan me her pendant and to have Mr. Chandler murdered.
Well, this job is far from finished. Did you find out where they operate from?
I have it right here in my pocket. They're expecting me to meet them at that address.
Well, we'll surprise them and bring a few uninvited guests. Say, driver, don't go too fast. We don't want to lose the boys in the back.
Okay.
Something troubling you, Tony?
Well, there was something more I wanted to explain about Valerie.
Now, don't tell me you've fallen for her.
That wouldn't be difficult. A mighty attractive girl.
Tony, you wouldn't go for a crook, would you?
No, not for a crook.
Nothing much out in this district. Sure you've got the right address?
Are we on Weldon Avenue?
Yes, sir.
Where would 9842 be?
In the next block. This is the 9800 block.
So this is it.
Well, it's the address he gave me. There's no mistake about that.
Well, what makes you think they wouldn't double-cross you?
Looks like I guessed wrong.
We'll never find them now.
Well, they'll find me.
What do you mean they'll find you?
I was afraid they'd pull a trick like this, so I let them smuggle in an imitation.
What?
Oh, yes. Victor got the imitation out of the safe and switched with me right after I was killed. I've had the real stone all along.
I gave them my address, my right address. And when they find out they've got a phony, they'll contact me, but quick.
Well, we better get you back to your hotel.
Right.
And when he insisted that my ankle was hurt, I thought he was crazy. Then, when he slipped the diamond under the bandage and had me bring it in, well, I suddenly found myself believing in Santa Claus.
You've done a swell job, girls. Say,
This won't do.
Oh, come on, Valerie. Snap out of it. This job's over.
Yes, and it's my last one.
I said the same thing 10 years ago.
Steve will change your mind.
How does Steve feel about Chandler being killed?
Well, we haven't had a chance to talk about it.
I suppose he'd want us to lay low for a while.
I hate this whole rotten business. Hiding, lying, stealing, and now murder.
Come on now, Valerie. What you need is to go away by yourself and take a rest.
Hello, Steve. We've been waiting for you.
What's the matter?
Oh, a little case of nerves, Steve. She'll be all right.
Where's the diamond?
Here.
Everything worked out swell, didn't it, Steve?
Now, where's the real one?
The real one?
What do you mean?
I mean that this is an imitation.
I don't understand.
Perhaps you can explain.
He must have had a duplicate and switched stones on us.
No wonder he was so anxious for us to bring it in.
It seems that he successfully made fools of both of you.
Oh, no, not yet he hasn't. She knows where he's stopping.
And it's up to you to get it.
We gave him a fake address. How do we know he didn't give us one?
You can easily find out.
Wait a minute. Here's what you'll say.
Hello? Oh, hello, Valerie.
Did you get out there?
Not yet. I was held up at the customs office. I'm just leaving.
Don't go. Everything's changed. I'm coming up with the diamond. I've taken it from Cynthia.
You mean you're double-crossing them?
Certainly. Why should we split with them?
Oh, Valerie, don't do that. It's a big mistake. I think you're taking an awful chance. All right, then. Bring it up here, then.
What happened? Trouble?
Yes. It looks like we struck a snag. She didn't deliver it. She's crossed them up and stolen it.
Well, in that case, we'll grab her when she comes up. I'll make her talk.
Now, you go up there and get the real diamond. If you can't get it, just let us know. We'll be waiting here.
Hello? Send her right up.
Tom, you and Driscoll go in that room. We'll go in the bedroom.
Keep your ears to the door. See what we can find out first.
It's in your lap, Tony.
Hello, Victor.
Hello, Val. You look upset.
I am.
What's the matter?
Victor, why did you switch stones on us?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You let us carry in an imitation.
An imitation?
Let's not pretend. They examined it. The men we work with are experts.
But I thought you said you didn't deliver it.
I had to tell you that. They were right there with me.
Oh, I see. But the diamond you carried in was the same one we took from Chandler.
Then you didn't substitute the stones.
Well, why should I double-cross you? I needed your people to dispose of it.
Then we've gone through all this for an imitation diamond.
I'm afraid we have.
Victor, I'm glad.
Why?
Because I wanted to quit this. Now I can. We both can.
I can't quit, Val.
When I said this before, I was pretending. Now I'm not. Let's really go away any place.
I wish it were possible, Val, but it's not. I've got a job to do, and I'm going to stick until it's finished.
Then I guess there's nothing else for me to do but go back. Goodbye, Victor.
What are you going to tell them?
I don't know.
Whatever you tell them, they won't believe you.
Doesn't make much difference now.
Wait a minute, Val. I'm going with you.
They'll kill you.
No, they won't. I'll explain everything.
What makes you think they'll believe you?
Because they know I'd never show up if I'd really double-crossed them.
right, Tom. Driscoll, let's go.
Is this where it is?
Come on and I'll show you.
All right, boys, now just a minute. Let's take our time. I'll tell you when.
All right, Gordon, let her in.
Well, Mr. Stevens. What are you doing here?
I told you I was in the manufacturing business.
That's right, and I believed you. Hello, Aunt Cynthia.
Hello, Victor.
Why did you bring him here?
It was my idea. I insisted on coming to tell you that I didn't double-cross you. The diamond you have is the one I took from Chandler.
Well, did you expect us to believe that?
Frankly, I didn't. But do you think I'd have taken this chance if I really had the stone?
Perhaps you know where it is.
No, but I've got an idea. The Omar diamond must have been delivered after we docked.
That's very interesting. Go on.
Now, as soon as it's put on the market, we can work out a plan to grab it. If you're interested in cutting me in.
We're not interested, Mr. Morell.
Well, in that case, there's nothing more for me to do but leave.
Wait, Victor. Steve, I'm getting out of this. And there's nothing you can say or do that will frighten me.
You're being a fool.
No, but I have until now.
I had a hunch that you two were working together. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you're not quitting. And you're not leaving.
Seems to me we could talk this over.
There's nothing to talk over.
You don't take any chances, do you, Stevens?
That's right, Mr. Morell. Go on in the other room.
No, Steve, don't.
Both of you. Come on, get going.
Come on, Bill.
I'll get those tools. It's the last thing I ever do.
Take their guns, boys. This all of them, Tony?
Yeah, there's a woman inside. I gotta get this girl to the hospital.
Tell me, darling, what is it like in the Argentine?
Search me. I've never been there.
I bet you were born in the Bronx.
No, Brooklyn.
It's getting chilly. I better get my wrap. I'll be right back.
Just a minute, Mrs. Morell. I can't let you out of my sight 1 second. That's part of the terms of your probation.
And I love it.